Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we will talk about second semester assignments for the subject decision science, which is treated as one of the most awaited videos. And I'm getting a lot of emails, lot of chats asking for guidance regarding the decision science subject. So first of all, I just want to give you a brief about this subject. So decision science is it's a completely a practical based subject, a numerical based subject, wherein you are provided certain kind of case studies in which you need to solve certain numericals. It's not a tough subject. There are few concepts. If you are clear with those concepts, then you can easily complete your assignments. And to be very honest, based on my past experience, this time the questions are very much easy. If you talk to your seniors or super seniors, they were having very tough numerical questions. This time it's extremely easy. It's important that a few concepts you should be clear in your mind, how to just do the numericals in Excel in the Word document that we will discuss in this complete video. And we will talk about all the concepts which needs to be mentioned, not only from the numerical perspective but from the theoretical perspective as well. So this is for the December 2022 cycle, as we discussed earlier as well in multiple videos, that this is a regular cycle. So all the students who have enrolled in the month of maybe Jan, Feb or March 2022, and they are into second sem. If they are the regular students, then you will find this assignments in your portal. How to get this PDF file? Just go log into your portal, go to the left panel. In left panel we are having exams. In exams, just click on the assignments so that you will be able to download this PDF file. Coming to the assignment stuff, it covers 30%, like 30 marks, which are having three questions for second, third A and third B. Each question is having a weightage of 10 marks. Third question is having a weightage of 5 marks. So third A and third B of 5 marks. And each question is you need to write around 1,000 words. So plus minus 10% is totally acceptable. So being it's a numerical based subject, so there might be a possibility that you can come up to 700, 750, or 800 words. That's totally fine, specifically for this subject. Two important concepts which you keep in your mind is the plagiarism, and the second thing is the copy case. So make sure don't share your assignment with your friends, otherwise you will get into the copy case. Both the students, not only you but your friend, also get into the copy case. Second thing is plagiarism. So make sure you are writing the content in your own words. Do not copy paste. Being it's a numerical base, so obviously numericals will remain the same. But if I talk about the theoretical concept which you are going to discuss in this video, so try to understand the concept and frame the words in your own words. So these are the two things which I try to just mention in each of my videos, because those are extremely important, and I don't want that your hard work will goes into zero and you will get the copy case, right? Now coming back to our assignments, so if you see, we are having three questions: first, second, third A and third B. So let's discuss each of the question one by one and see what needs to be written. So going to the very first question: your favorite team Garuda is in the final season of the IPL. Raskol, an expert, has assigned a probability of 60% that Garuda will win based on his study of the current scenario. Past records indicate that when the teams win the championship, they win the first game of the series 70% of the time. When they lost the series, the possibility of winning the first game was 25% of the time. Right. First game is over, your team has lost. What is the probability that you will win the series? You need to draw a probability tree diagram. In this question, you are advised to draw the diagram in the Word, or PowerPoint, or any mode. Do not draw the diagram manually. Handwritten snapshots are not allowed. Right. Just giving a brief that, see, don't ever try to draw anything on any of the other tool except the Microsoft tool. Like some just try to draw it on the MS Paint, or sometimes they just scan it on the paper. Some they just draw it on the paper and try to scan it and try to upload. So that's not acceptable, not for this subject but for all the subjects. If you are drawing anything, just draw it on the Word or PPT or Excel. Do not just scan these things. These are not accepted, right? Now, if we talk about this question, so this seems to be a little bit tricky question. Okay, there are 60%, 75%, 25%. So just understand this particular question one by one. That probability of 60% that Garuda will win the scenario of will win the match for the current scenario, right? Past records. Now we talk about the past records. If we talk about the past records, when team win the championship, so see, there are two scenarios. One is winning the championship, and second one is losing the championship, right? If we talk about the middle layer, in middle layer we are having about the first game, right? So let's understand it with a very basic example, because if you read all this stuff, that seems to be pretty much confusing. And maybe we can firstly see what needs to be written, what page numbers to be referred from the book, and after that we will just discuss it with taking a separate example. Hope that will clear this particular question, and you will be easily able to understand about this all these three or four percentages which are being mentioned, right? So firstly, what page numbers to refer and what needs to be written. So you need to refer to page number 101, 105, 106, 112. Introduction about the probability, being it's all about the probability. What's the structure of the probability? What's the probability calculation? What's the probability tree diagram? Explain about the conditional probability and solve the numerical mentioned in the question. So let's see one by one. This is the book. Going to the page number 101. So in 101, it's given as a basic probability. So probability, you all have heard in the school times that it's the, you can say, percentage of happening of an event. The uh, the number of times the event may occur. If take an example of a heading, tossing a coin heads and tail, or just throwing a dice of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's very common examples which might you have studied in, I think, fifth or sixth classes a long years back. So you just need to give about the probability. After that, you need to go to the page number 105. In 105, you can see the structure of the probability. That's an optional one. Why I have added? Because it's a 10 marks of question. So we have some theory to add on to just gain extra marks. You can skip this part. That's totally acceptable. Then on 106, there is a figure. So this is actually the probability tree diagram, right? So if you see the running it's basically events with one die and event with the two dice, right? So let's understand this particular diagram, or maybe we can just see the complete content, and after that we will discuss this part. Going to the page number 112. If we go to the page number 112, we are having a discussion about the conditional probability. I think there was mentioned somewhere conditional probability. So marginal probability, union probability, joint probability, and this is conditional probability. So this is conditional probability which specifies the occurrence of an event when an event has already been occurred, right? So this is about the conditional probability. So I think you can refer any of the diagram. Maybe you can just refer to this diagram as well. This will be easy for you to understand, or maybe you can refer to earlier diagram. So see, one step, if you talk about this one, this is the main master root node. This is a starting node, right? This will always be one, and the ending nodes are basically the leaf nodes, and in middle these are the middle nodes, right? Let's talk about a very basic example. You want to go to the office, right? You want to go to your college, or maybe you want to go to your office, right? So they are having two possibilities, right? I'm talking about a very basic example. Don't just think it from a very third person. They are having n number of probability. I'm taking a very basic example, like you are having a two wheeler. You are planning to go via two wheeler or four wheeler, right? So maybe if you go via two wheeler, or maybe you go via four wheeler. I'm skipping alternate solutions like going by walking or any other ways, right? If you choose two wheeler, they are having two options, right? Maybe you can go via Activa, or maybe you can go via some bike. If I talk about four wheeler, then they are having two options. Maybe you can go via Nano, or maybe you can go via Mercedes, right? So we talk about the four possibilities, right? So if I talk about first scenario, going via Activa. right? So going via Activa, for that there should be some precondition. The event has already been occurred, and what's the event? The event is coming via two-wheeler, right? Because if until that first event has not been validated or completed, you won't be able to move to the next level. Similarly, in our question, if we talk about the question, so this is our starting point. Next point comes as the winning or losing the first match, right? So the percentage of winning the first match, for example, it's maybe 30% or maybe the 40%, and after that comes the full outcomes: winning the winning the series, losing the series, winning the series, and losing the series, right? So first match is the middle one, and winning and losing the series are your leaf nodes, right? So if we go to our question back, so if you see, uh, Raj call an expert has assigned a probability of 60% that Garuda will win based on the study of the current scenario. Past records state that when the teams win the championship, they win the first game by 20%, 70% of the time. Right. So winning the first game is 70%, losing the game is 30%. Right. So that 30% and 70% and 30% comes over here. Right. And when they lost the series, then there is the possibility that the first game will win is the 25%, right? So we are having four scenarios: 70%, 30% of winning and losing the first match, and 25% and 75% of losing the match, of winning and losing the first match, right? So you are having both the options. Maybe you can just consider the winning the first series over there, or maybe you can just consider the winning the final game over there, right? But being final game is dependent on your first series, so here you need to specify that okay, the first part comes as winning the game, right? So it will be 70%, this part will come as the 70%, this part will come as the 30%. In next game is it will be 25%, and it will be 75%. In this case it will be reverse, right? Because winning the chances is 25% when you lost the first game, right? And if you talk about the first game, it's 60% and 40%, which is already being specified. So this way you can draw a probability tree diagram. I think the things are pretty much clear. I'm just reiterating: winning the first match, losing the first match, winning the series, losing the series, winning the season, losing the series. So winning the first match is 60%, losing the first match is 40%, winning the series in this case it will be 70%, losing the game it will be 30% because it will always be one, winning or losing. We are not talking about the cases where we can say that it will be a tie, right? And if you talk about 25%, so it will be 25% and it will be 75%, right? And in this way you can just draw the probability diagram. How we can draw a probability diagram? It's very simple. Go to insert, go to smart art. In smart art we are having hierarchy. Click on the hierarchy and you will get a number of options. Maybe you can choose this one, or maybe you can choose one as per your comfort, right? So maybe you can just put total. You can put, I'm just ignoring this one. We are having win first, loss first, and this will be win series, loss series, win series, loss series, right? So this is the way how you can just draw a probability diagram. Maybe you can just do a little bit of color formatting and other things. That's totally fine, right? So I think we have covered the first question. So first question is pretty much clear. Now moving to our second question. The second question is: run regression analysis based on the given data. Calculate the line of regression y on x. Don't use Excel. Calculate it manually. What is B1 telling about the relationship? Shivani Raje is making khakra and selling it online via e-commerce websites. Recently, she is looking for some insights for improvising the quality of her product. She thought of the survey, so she asked her recent customers to scale the quality of the product based on their satisfaction level towards the same. Scale is 1 to 5. Higher the score, the higher the satisfaction level. Lower the score, lower the satisfaction level, and lower the poor the quality. Right. It's pretty much straightforward, wherein you just need to draw the relationship between the two events y and x, which is being mentioned in the question. So I have not pasted it because it was just too much. So you are having x values, you are having y values, right? What page numbers to refer? Going to page number 275 and 277. So let's go to the page number 275. So in 275, it's a basic linear regression. So you can just specify basic linear regression. What is linear regression? It's basically you can say the um, mm, there are two variables. You can show the dependency. Normally we have seen y equals to mx plus c. That's the very common statement which you're using. So it's in simple linear regression, what we do, we are having two variables. One is the dependent variable and second is independent variable. Y is the dependent, x is the independent variable. So the dependency of y on x that we need to calculate, m is the slope and c is the coefficient, right? So normally we calculate the value of m. The formula is this: y equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. It's a little bit different in case of the regression calculations that we will see. So you just give a brief about this simple linear regression, and after that it's mentioned determine the equation of regression line y equals to mx plus c. And if you talk about the formula, there's somewhere mentioned in the formula. Yeah, this is the formula. Slope of the linear regression line is equals to b equals to x minus x bar into y minus y bar upon x minus x bar ka square. Or in different way, you can just calculate the summation of x into y minus summation of x into summation of y upon n is the total number of variables, summation of x square minus summation of x ka whole square upon n. So this is the actual equation. What you need to do, you just simply need to sum up all these values, which is y, sum up all these values as y, and you just need to calculate the value of b1. This is very much straightforward, nothing extra you need to do, and whatever value you can come, you can just rate it in the scale of 1 to 5, right? If you think that means manually typing and pasting is difficult, what you normally do, what I normally prefer, I just simply copied all the stuff, put it into Excel, step, putting it into the Excel. I'm having all the values, right? I'm just using text to columns. In text to columns, you can just simply go to the tab, or maybe you can choose space. Now we are having the values as y and x. Just calculate the sum. I think those who are from IT background, for them it's very easy. Those who are not, maybe you just need to just maybe try a couple of formulas, or maybe you can just use a normal way to just calculate the values on Excel. So this way you can calculate rest of the values. This is a very basic approach which I follow. Just do not copy paste it from directly from the Excel, because they clearly mention do not use any software. That is just a way to calculate the values manually. Instead of manually, we are using the Excel, right? So you can just calculate the values and just show it on the finally answer, right? So I think second question is very easy. You can just easily calculate and solve the values, right? Now going to the one important thing which students ask, that if we talk about this formulas, so in formulas we are having this summation values, we are having b naught, b1. So in this case there is a option, right? If you want to just write it down, mx, or you can say b naught, then there is some option over there. You can just put control shift, and I think there was option of control shift and plus, and you just simply use control plus, then it will be b naught, right? So this is the way to just put superscript and subscripts, right? So for superscripts we can use control, I'm just reiterating, right? If you want to get this value, then control plus shift plus option, right? And if you want this thing, because many students came up and asking this question, so I'm just putting it in my video. Control plus, right? So if you want to use superscript, control shift plus, and it will be coming as superscript. And if you want a subscript, then it will be control and simply plus option. So control shift plus and control plus are the shortcut keys to just use all these formulas into your Word document, right? So this is an additional thing which I just specified. Now moving to our third question. The third question is calculate the relative frequency based on the following data and using the relative frequency and discuss the data by choosing the appropriate data. Data district wise is micro, small, and medium enterprises. A note: you may use Excel, Tableau, Power BI for creating the graphs. You are allowed to copy the graph only. Make sure you follow the general instructions for the writing assignment. So you need to refer to the page number 27. Going to the 27, it's mentioned as relative frequency. It's very straightforward how to calculate the relative frequency. So calculation of relative frequency is, if you see again this question, you are having all these values. You can just simply copy, you can simply paste it over there. I think I have, okay, you just copy paste few things. If you want to calculate the relative frequency, then it will be the value of individual frequencies divided by the total frequency, right? So it's coming as, if we talk about this, then it will be this. If we talk about this, it will be this, and this way you can just calculate, sorry, all the values, and this divided by this divided by this, or maybe you can use the dollar formula, right? You can specify dollar over there to just make sure if you're copying paste this one, right? And if you see, the total is coming as 1. One important thing is, in case of relative frequency, the sum of all the values will come as 1, right? So this is the way how we can calculate. We are having the districts, so I'm just putting it any ad hoc values. Putting SQSWEER and this and this and this. Yes, right. So we are getting these values, right? So this is the way how we can calculate the relative frequency. Now we need to draw the charts, or you can say the diagrams. So how we can draw the diagram, because if you see in the question, it's being mentioned that you need to calculate the relative frequency and discuss the data by choosing the appropriate graph. So maybe you can choose any of the graph. Normally for using for drawing the relative frequencies, we generally prefer the bar graphs, right? So go to the insert. If you see the recommended charts also, you can get the options of like clustered bar chart, right? So you can just simply click on this value, you will get this clustered bar chart, right? You can just format it. Maybe you can just put the values as ABCD, whatever you values you want to put. Simply copy it and paste it to your a document, right? This is the way how you can just copy paste it. This you can just change few of the other stuff, like if you want, you can just make it a little bit colorful, or you can make the something different to it. You can just simply do it based on the multiple options which are being provided, right? So this is the first part. So I think the first part is pretty much clear. Now the second part is analyze the data and show the top two districts using the bar chart. So if we talk about these two, then it's clearly mentioned that okay, this one and this one are the two largest one. One is having the significantly high values. I think I have just used this value. Yeah, so this is the highest value, and the second highest value is coming as 0.12, if I'm not wrong. 0.07 and 0.12 are the two values which are having, no sorry, I think it's point 0.4. Sorry, it's my bad. It's point 0.4 and 0.12, right? Point 0.4 and 0.14. So the first value and the fourth value are having the top two districts are having the maximum value, right? Then second part comes as the calculate the median and provide the list of the districts above the median value. So for this question, you need to explain about the bar graphs because this is being asked in the question. So going to the page number 36, if you go to the page number 36, it's bar graphs. Just give a brief that what a bar graph. It's having two categories and x-axis, what is y-axis. Just give a brief overview about this. No need to explain any example because it's 500 words and already we are having so many content to be written in this question. And the second part comes about the brief about the median, right? So median, if we talk about the median, so we already have heard in the school times mean, median and mode, very common values. So if we talk about the median, so median is basically the middle value, right? And how to calculate the middle value, let's quickly see. I'm just removing it, this. So if you see these values, just what you need to do, you just need to sort these values. So maybe you can just sort it this way, right? So if you talk about the middle value, so these are what are, if I talk about the numbering, if I do the numbering, and there are total 9 values, right? These are the 9 values. So the middle value of median will be 514, right? And in the question it's being asked, what's being asked in the question, oh sorry, I think I have mistakenly just used a different question. So for calculating the median we are having these values. So let's quickly see. Okay, copying these values, copying these values, copying these values. I'm just using sort, continue with the current selection, or maybe okay, no problem, right? So if we see total number of values, I'm just seeing, I think 13 values are there, right? So the middle one is 13 by 2, which is 6.5, right? So the middle value will be the 7, right? This is the middle value. I'm just highlighting this one. So all these the above values and those are the higher values. So what is being asked in the question? It's being asked calculate the median. So the median value we have calculated and provide the list of districts above the median value. So all of these having the value like 29070, which is Vishakhapatnam, 3018 something, which is 3018 is Vizianagaram. So all these you just need to specify, okay, all these are having the value above the median, so we are using it as the above median value, right? So I think the third B question is also pretty much clear. I think in my video I have covered all the stuff, how you need to write the answers, what needs to be written, how to draw the certain diagrams, and I think we have even solved the numericals in most of the question. So that's why I just mentioned that this time decision science is really very easy and you can easily score great marks for the decision science subject, right? So this is all about from my side. If you have any doubts or facing any issue related to assignments or maybe regarding any other stuff, feel free to just connect to me at ngasc.mba@gmail.com. And if you like this video, do like, do subscribe, and stay connected for further videos. Thank you so much.